Good evening, everybody. This is a special treat tonight. Got Zach here with us. He was supposed to be on with us tomorrow, doing me a huge favor because I've got to go install some landscape lights, and it would have been a pain in the butt to try and be on a ladder while installing landscape lights and hearing all the great things about you, Zach. So I appreciate you jumping on tonight to help me out and get everybody to know a little bit more about you, a little bit more about Tinsel, your podcast, and upcoming family talks. So why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, thank you for having me. And I was more than happy to rearrange some stuff because actually doing the business is more important than talking about it, I always say. But so a little about me. I was a mechanical engineer at Boeing, designing military aircraft for designing wiring systems for military aircraft, I should say. So Chinook, B-22, Air Force One.
Wow.
And so kind of had a good job going on. And then I was kind of bored. I was very, very bored at that job, to be honest with you. So I started Holiday Lights on the side back in 2018. And then in 2020, I lost my Boeing job due to COVID. And that's when I decided that I was not going to be doing that stuff anymore. So I took Christmas lights full time in 2020. My wife looked at me like I had six heads. And I made a deal with her that if I did $100,000 in revenue that year, that I could keep pursuing it. And I did 98,500, but she's seen the potential. So she let me stick with it. And so now my life revolves around Christmas. So Elves and Ladders Holiday Lighting in Philadelphia is my install company. And then while I was, so enthralled with the Christmas industry, I've been going to all the events like Transworld and Clipicon and a couple of other ones. And I realized that there's a big need in the market for a good CRM for our industry. And so I kind of created Tinsel CRM, the CRM designed for Christmas light installers. I think that's our tagline.
Yeah, you got a slogan like that. All right.
So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Well, very cool. I did not realize that you started in 2020. I would have thought that from your experience and the work that I've seen you doing, you've been in the industry a lot longer. So that's news to me.
Yeah.
That's
started officially in 2018, side hustle, side job, and then went full time in 2020.
Okay. And for the viewers who didn't know this, I see that you were used to be spinning some records back in the day.
Yeah, but through college. So pretty much for almost 10 years, I was a DJ all up and down the East Coast, all the way up from casinos in Rhode Island down to some festivals down in Florida. Gasparilla Festival, if anybody's down there in Tampa knows what I'm talking about. So, and kind of everywhere in between. So I did everything from nightclubs to weddings to you name it.
Ah, nice. So what was your DJ name?
Zeem, Zeem.
And that stood for?
What's that?
What did that stand for? Anything?
I have no idea. Somebody gave me the name.
All right.
It's one of those names that means absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Courtney says DJ Zazzy Zach. That's a tongue twister right there.
I want to say that she's called me that before.
All right. So 2020 started, and lately I've seen you in a bunch of these other groups that some people might not be involved in, but it looks like you're doing a lot of interesting light displays. I've seen some wall curtains and stuff like that you've done. And let's just talk a little bit about that because, a lot of the Christmas light installation companies, they're just doing the basic roof lines, the trees, bushes, and things like that. And some of the stuff you're doing is really extravagant. I think I just saw something for the Eagles maybe recently that you did.
So not for the Eagles, but Eagles were in the Super Bowl, and we did a wall of lights on my house in South Philly. And we did it with the Holodynamics RGB. What do they call that? The dynamic RGB.
Yep.
So we did the whole thing in RGB mini. So for the Super Bowl, we turned it all green. But so the wall of lights is something that we're known for now in Philadelphia. It's not something I've come up with. It's been around for a while. In fact, Martin Zuro, I think he's in Michigan. Martin Zuro is the one that actually taught me how to do it. We've learned from him, but then we advanced it a little more into a different technique now so that we can get a lot more done in the shortest time frame, given that, our season is so fast and so quick. So we do a lot of wall of lights. We do a big street, Main Street here in Manayunk in Philadelphia. We do about 40 40 walls of lights in about a 6-block stretch, which is so
Holy
it's
cow.
really cool to see. It's not every building, but I really wish it was, because it would be really cool if we could get every building signed on, which we're trying. We're still trying.
Yeah, I hate to be the owner who says no, not me, and
Yep.
then just skip over him, and then it's
Yeah, so we do the wall of lights, and then we do, just regular gingerbread kind of outlines for some of the other buildings as well. So even if they don't have the whole budget of going all out with the wall of lights, we try to get them involved somehow.
yeah, that's important, especially for a community like that and a small strip of area. You don't want to be that one left out, and it just brings everybody to there. I'm sure it's a big staple for your community right there.
Yeah,
So
no, it is. It's pretty cool to see it all come together. It takes about a month and a half to put all of that up, and it's up for about 2 months after that. And to we're up there all the time for maintenance once the season kicks in. So to go out there and just see all the families and stuff walk around, all the little kids, and they're looking up and they're like, wow, look at this one, look at that one. Which one's your favorite? It's pretty cool.
yeah, you're standing there proud. You're like, yeah, that was us.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little pat on the chest right there. And I think I just saw a video not too long ago that you put out. It was a marketing video, commercial video, was it not?
Yeah, so that was actually from Manayunk Main Street. We had a team come out and shoot a video while it was up so that we can market it to other commercial corridors in this season coming up.
Super cool video. Please, when we're done, if you could find that and share it below. I really like the production on that. So whoever design and implementation on that, they did a phenomenal job. And I think it was a couple minutes, right? It was.
Yeah, I think it's a 3 or 4 minute video.
Yeah, but great video. I mean, displays a lot of stuff you do, and they're super fun. So way to just take advantage of that and be able to market to other customers. And you say you're trying to take that different areas, you said?
We have a couple commercial corridors in Philadelphia and kind of around Philadelphia. Main Street and Manayunk is the first one that we've ever done. And we got really lucky there because they have the Manayunk Development Corporation, who is like their governing body of all these businesses. And they were generous enough to put up 50% of all the costs. So the business pays 50%. And then the MDC, the Manayunk Development Corporation, pays the other 50%. So we're able to kind of do more for customers that have less.
That's insane. I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's way to think outside the box and utilize resources locally to open up your market to more customers. So cool. Good on you. All right. So hanging lights, you're doing, I feel like you're in a pixel group or something else.
I'm in all the groups, of course.
Yeah.
I gotta stay, ear to the ground. But I don't do too much pixel. Actually, I don't do any pixel stuff. There's one installation that we have that's actually right outside of my house now. It's in South Philly. We call it the South Philly Special. But as you're driving through South Philly, you'll notice around the holidays that there's lights across the street above your head as you're driving. And that's a pretty common tradition in South Philly. But it's usually the S14 bulbs, the patio lighting type size bulbs, and they're all different colors and whatnot, but they're all static colors. They're all incandescent bulbs. So we kind of took it to another level on my block here, and we did a whole RGB, basically matrix above your head so that we can put songs on there and kind of do all kinds of different things. So while my house was green for the Eagles, the whole street was too, just because a couple clicks of the button on the phone or whatever it is, we're able to change the whole street. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. That's very cool. So everybody knows you as the Christmas guy there too, then.
Yeah, in the neighborhood for sure.
All right. So talk to me about Tinsel, why you started it, and I don't believe you started it to release it to the public, and the process of that, and any possible updates coming out this year, why somebody should look into Tinsel.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, I started Tinsel for myself, or like you said, actually, I started Tinsel for myself. There was no great CRMs for the holiday lighting industry. There's definitely CRMs that work for sure. You have a whole bunch of them out there, but everything we found, we were making it work and doing tweaks, and it was costing us money and efficiency. So I set out to create Tinsel CRM, which did not have the name Tinsel, obviously, when it first started, because it was just for Elves and Ladders. But we used it for 2 years, and I showed it to a couple people in the industry, and they're like, can we use it? And I'm like, I mean, that's not going to work for you. It works for us. This is how we operate. They're like, no, this is exactly how we operate too. And more people kept saying that. So finally I released it last year. 2022 was our first season out to the public, and it was really good. We had a really good response on it. But the coolest part is that all the people that used it in 2022 are constantly giving us feedback of how we can make it better. And so 2023 for Tinsel is all about making it better based on everybody else's feedback. So a few things that we have coming, or actually a few things we just released, are map routing. So, you can optimize your routes and all that stuff.
Smart.
We also have a new mock-up tool involved right inside of Tinsel, so you don't have to go out of Tinsel to go to, Jolly Lights or any of the other tools. It's all kind of built right in. So there's some cool features that we have there, and we have some really cool stuff on the way, but I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about just yet, because we don't want to put it too far out there until we know it's coming out. We don't want to get everybody excited.
Yeah, nothing worse than saying the update's coming, and then I won't mention some softwares that we have that are very antiquated, customer factor, but just waiting years and years for it to release, and then it just never happens. So I know it takes a lot of work to do that. I mean, I'm sure the mapping software and the design software wasn't easy. Like, hey, let's make this happen overnight. And so once you have an idea for something that you want to implement, let's say a typical turnaround time for it to happen for anybody that's wondering, because again, we don't know. And we're like, why can't you just do this? I'm sure it's got to be easy. Just click the button, right?
No, of course. So the cool thing about Tinsel is I am not a software guy. I'm not a software developer, right? I'm the Christmas light guy. And I teamed up with a couple of developers that are now partners in Tinsel. And so when I come to them and I'm like, hey, we need to make a tool that does this, like a mock-up tool, for example, they're looking at me like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, how are we going to do this? And they get it done.
Yeah.
So, turnaround time is always different for each different feature, obviously. But the cool thing is we kind of have a development schedule that looks about a year out. And we're able to kind of say by September, all the biggest features, all the changes that we're making have to be pushed by September, because once September hits, we're in the thick of it. I don't want to be pushing out new features and, throwing wrenches in the cogs if people are in the middle of their season, if they're doing something and then they log in tomorrow and it's totally different. They're going to pull their hair out. They're going to hate me. So I'm like, listen, September 1st is our deadline for big features. Obviously, we still push bug fixes and little minor things. But so what's really cool is September 1st, when we stop pushing stuff, we're able to dive deep on changing a lot of things that roll out in March and April. So the mock-up tool and the map routing, we've been working on them since September of last year. And we pushed the mock-up tool yesterday, actually. I think it went live, and then the routing stuff went live right before Transworld, so back in February.
Very cool. That's awesome. And what's the I'm just gonna promote it here. What's the pricing and how do they get a hold of it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for that. So it's
$89 referral fee in the bottom too, right?
$89 a month. You can't beat it. It's $89 a month if you pay month to month. There's no contract. Or if you want to pay it all annually up front, it works out to $828, which is $69 a month. So you're already saving $240 there if you just pay for it all up front.
All right, folks, you heard it right there. $89 a month. That is not bad for a CRM, especially something that is specific to the Christmas light industry. So if you haven't had a chance to check out Tinsel, they should go to
TinselCRM.com, TINSELCRM.com.
All right, so TinselCRM.com. I'm going to post that in there right there. www. Let's see if I can type Tinsel. So check that out. I've seen Zack in the last 2 years at trade shows, and I've heard great things about it. So good on you. And I bet you didn't think you were going to be a software developer or app owner. Is it there going to be an app, or is it just all online?
It's all web-based, and the reason for that is very straightforward. You can use it from Apple, Android, Windows, Mac. It doesn't matter. You can use it on your phone, your tablet, computer. We wanted to keep it open for everybody, as opposed to just saying, well, we're only iOS, so you other guys stink. But
that's true though. It is true though. If you're a Droid user, you really shouldn't have access to it because you need a switch. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So what's cool is there's two interfaces. There's the CRM, which is what you're going to be using in the office to make estimates and things like that. But like I said, it was designed for my company, and my company runs on iPads when we're out in the field, so it works flawlessly on the iPads. And then we have a whole nother installer portal as well, so that your installers, your technicians can be out there on their phones. We optimized that to be on the phone. So while it is all web-based, we did take all of that into consideration so that it's very easy for you to kind of navigate through things and see what you need to see.
Very cool. So tell me a little about Elves and Ladders. How many did you have on your team last year, and what are you shooting for this year as far as trucks and getting installed?
Yeah, so we did last year. I had 2 trucks. Well, 1 truck, and then the second truck came in late October, I want to say. But 2 trucks basically. I had 6 guys running. And unfortunately, only one of them is still with us because I don't do anything else the rest of the year, which is a huge problem for me. So we're picking up landscape lighting. Our demo kit just got here, so we're really excited about that, so that we can keep people working throughout the year. But we had 6 last year, 2 trucks. I think we're going to do 2 trucks, potentially 3. We're still working out the budget and all the numbers to make it work. But last year, I'm going to be transparent and throw my numbers out there. Last year, we only did 300,000, which was growth from the year before, but
It's a great year.
yeah, it's a good year. I'm not complaining about it,
Yeah.
but it's not where I want it to be. And so I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this public. So why not? This year, I'm shooting for $1 million. It's a huge growth, but
Wow.
if I don't say it out loud to the
There you
world,
go.
then I'll slack off. So I'm growing from 300 to $1 million, or at least that's my goal.
Well, you heard it here today, April 11th, on the podcast. That's not a podcast. That Zack Marker will be doing 1 million in Christmas lights this year, and
Christmas and landscape.
And landscaping. All right. Hey, good on you, man. Then the landscape lighting, we love it. We just got started. Went to Ryan Lee's class at Landscape Lighting Secrets. No, Landscape Lighting Live down in Florida. So
yeah, I'm so mad. I'm so mad that I missed that.
He's got one coming up in Utah.
I know, but I'm in Philly.
Utah, though. It's nice. Nice this time of year.
Yeah, it's tough. I actually met Ryan for the first time down in Houston a few weeks ago at the Holodynamics Olympics, and then at Clipicon a few weeks ago as well. But you guys had Florida or Orlando, wherever it was,
Tampa,
right before Houston. When I found out about it, I'm like, if I would have known about that, I would have been there.
Yeah, it was incredible.
I'm upset with myself for that one.
I love what Ryan does. I love the way he teaches. I like to say, just kind of like the clip of training itself, it's enough to get you excited, but not enough to make you dangerous. So it gives you all the tools and resources to get started. But there's still more that goes into the training beyond what you learn in the 2 or 3 days out there.
Of course.
But phenomenal class, Landscape Lighting Live. Ryan Lee, check that out if you're looking at landscape installation. So I did it, and it was phenomenal. So where are you at with the landscape installation process? So you said you just got the demo kit. Have you started doing estimates?
So our demo kit just got here on Friday. What is today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, our demo kit just got here on Friday. We're finalizing all of our prices. I actually go away on vacation Saturday for a week.
Where are we going?
Mexico.
Ooh.
Yeah, family vacation. Got to get one in. I have one on the way, so baby on the way. So we got to get that last vacation in before every other year we're going to Disney World.
Mini Elf coming in. Congrats.
Thank you. Mini Elf. That's like jumbo shrimp, right? But yeah, so we got finalizing all the pricing. I'm going away for a week, and I'm going to be setting up all of my ads and all that stuff to be running 2 days before I come back, so that when I come back, hopefully we get a couple of leads growing in. I already have an email typed out to all of our existing customers that's going to be sent out the day I come back to try and get that low hanging fruit to start.
Nice. Now, are you able to utilize Tinsel for this, or you have the different CRM?
We are going to utilize Tinsel for this. The only thing that's different between landscape lighting and Christmas lighting, at least in the CRM's eyes, is the fact that there's no removal process. So we can just skip right over that step without having a big hassle.
Very cool. Well, there you go. Just open up to a new market now.
Boom.
There you go. Awesome. All right. So going to Cancun, or where are you guys going? You didn't say where.
Riviera Maya.
All right. I've never been. I've only been to Cancun once.
Yeah, I've never been to Riviera Maya. Cancun, I've been.
All right. And then you're coming back. You said you have one guy on with you still full time, or working with you.
He's not full time. He's lingering. I feel very bad because he really wants to be working, and I got nothing going on. So I made a deal with him. Just give me this week to go on vacation, and when I come back, we're going to hit the ground running, and I'm going to give him everything he can handle.
There you go. All right. And then when do you start ramping up for your season? Is it going to be September? When are you doing your training?
So September 12th last year was the first installation And a lot of that goes back to Manayunk, that strip that we do. We start that in September, and it takes us till pretty much almost 2 months. So the first month is basically just that, and then once we hit October, we'll start with the residential reinstalls, and I might even push that up a little bit this year. So yeah, we'll do training, a week or so before each of those benchmarks. So one for the commercial and one for the residential.
All right. And then what held you back last year from doing more? Was it capacity? Was it lead flow? Was it sales?
It was a little bit of everything. We were at capacity because can I curse on this show?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
The only thing you can't say on my show is incandescent, but no, but we didn't have our shit together. Let me rephrase that. I didn't have my shit together. I didn't have a hiring process. I didn't have a great process for anything. And so that's what this 2023 is all about. Systemizing everything. I joined Conquer a few weeks ago.
Congrats.
In hopes that can help steer me in the right way. And so far it's been nothing but great. But I just didn't have my shit together. So this year it's all about keeping my head down. Last year at this time I was living it up. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't have no work. I got nothing to do. And then the season comes and I'm like, holy shit. So
scramble.
Yeah. So this year is going to be a bit different. Like we said, I have my first child on the way come September. I don't want to be working 80 hours in when my child is 1 month, 2 month old. I want to be able to at least come home for dinner. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm doing everything I can to make that happen.
Yeah. You probably should have planned that one a little better. I think September is the worst time of the year for a Christmas light installation company to be having babies, but I'm good. I'm proud of you and excited for you, and hopefully you have a healthy baby and good things to come with you, because you'll have all your systems in place so that you have the proper team to do everything you can so you can enjoy the birth of your baby and not have to worry about answering a phone call while your wife's screaming in labor.
Yeah. Thank you.
That'd be the goal. And you have a podcast as well, the Christmas podcast. Which one's that?
Christmas Pros podcast. Yep.
Okay. Tell me about that.
So Christmas Pros podcast, I started that last year to just, so we JC, you and I both go to a lot of these trade shows, Clipicon, Transworld, all these Christmas trade shows, and we get to learn a ton. I always say that I learn the most by just being, at the cocktail hour and instead of being in the classes, right? We learn so much more just by sitting there bullshitting with people. Not everybody has that opportunity, whether it's financial or whatever the case is, where they have 17 kids or whatever, they can't travel to Clipicon. So my Christmas Pros podcast is my kind of take on hopefully bringing some of that conversation into, back to the people. So we talk with, vendors, industry leaders, all kinds of different people, mostly related to the Christmas lighting industry. We had Dan Platt on.
Nice.
We have a whole bunch of different people that come on. I've been a little bit on a hiatus. I've been slacking. Once the season comes in September, October, I shut it down last year. Yeah. And so I've been slacking on picking it back up simply because I'm trying to keep my head down and focus on systemizing, like we talked about a few minutes ago. But season 2 is coming soon, a few weeks away. I do have a couple of guests lined up that I can't announce yet, but they're really, really good guests. JC is going to be on the show, and he doesn't know it yet, but JC will be on the show eventually.
Oh, I've heard of him. Sounds fun. I hope one of them's Saint Nick. I'd love to hear from him finally. He's
Yeah, so it's going good. We got a lot of good responses from it. And like I said, I don't make any money on it. It's more than just a hobby, though. It's just being able to talk to different people throughout the rest of the year after the trade shows, but before the season. It's a different way to connect outside of Facebook for me.
Yeah, and this is just a different platform to be able to talk to people. I mean, we've talked at shows before, and I've been doing this 10, 11 days now and had different conversations with people on here that I've had at the show. So it's real fun to be able to get out here. You're kind of more open. I feel it's a little bit more relaxed than doing this through the computer than it is in person. So I'm able to feel or have the conversations flowing a little better. So I do enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to getting on with you in a couple weeks or whenever that is, and hear about Mexico and all good things that come from Conquer. So
yeah,
that's exciting.
Are you getting comfortable being uncomfortable yet?
I'm good with this. If we were to move you and it was just me talking to me, forget about it. It's like shut down. It's like And I'm just typing away like, somebody please come save me. Like Mike Maharis saved me the other day, and I had one of my guests. We had a confusion and weren't able to make it. And I was like, Mike, please come on here. And he's like, all right, I'll load the computer up. And I started talking for like 5 minutes, and I was like, blah 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 blah. So that not so much. This part easy. I can just get a conversation going. I usually have some notes. I did not prepare for you today. I apologize, because you're the third live I've done today, plus an hour and a half of other conference calls and the office and the kids.
So for everybody at home, I don't matter to JC. Just saying.
But you're here. You got the 5 o'clock special, the 5:30 special. So I'm excited for you. All right. So we got the podcast.
Am I your first primetime guest? I guess this is primetime. This is dinner time, but
I had one last night at 7:30. So I don't know if you want to consider this like the what's the word? The Golden Corral special for the senior citizens. Yes.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. But you have the closest to the background lights with me, so good on you for that.
Yeah.
Brownie points.
I'm just setting up for season two of Christmas Pros podcast. The podcast that I've been doing has been audio only, and we edit it down to take out all the ums and the ahs, but you lose a little bit. You lose that connection with the audience, like you're popping up all the Facebook comments and things like that. And so I think we're going to be doing a StreamYard like this live so that we can kind of connect with the audience a little more as we're doing it. So trying to set up the background, and I'm going to have to clean up that desk over there. It's my wife's desk. She does all the cricketing and making stuff, but get the lights going, at least a good start.
Yeah, it's a start. Like you said, 2-3 weeks, we'll see you on live with that and go from there. All right, so we got Elves and Ladders. We got Tinsel CRM, the Christmas podcast. What is there anything else? You got a lot going on. And Conquer. Now you're going to River of Mayera or whatever it is in Mexico. Mm-hmm. Is that it?
I don't know. I can't remember anymore. It sounds like it's it, but I'm sure as soon as we get off this call, I'm going to be like, damn, I should have mentioned that.
That was the important one. That was the moneymaker.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do appreciate you jumping on tonight. It was good talking to you. I always enjoy seeing you at the shows, even though it's usually quick in and out, and it's hard to say hi to everybody and have a good conversation because there's so many people. I can't even think of how many people I didn't even get to see at Clipicon, but there's always more to come. So I look forward to that. And I'm going to ask you a parting question. And my question for you is a little bit different from everybody, but since we're going to stick with the holiday Christmas theme, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie? I have two. Home Alone and The Santa Claus.
Is that the one with Kurt?
Tim Allen.
Oh, okay. I like the one with Kurt Russell. He did a pretty good job too.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw the new Tim Allen one. That was a series, I think, on Disney or something, right?
Yeah, I watched it. It was, it's nothing will replace that mid-90s Tim Allen Santa Claus thing, but it was pretty cool. It was just, they had a nostalgic factor to it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's funny. I do that. I don't know if you've ever listened to the Christmas Pros podcast, but at the end of every episode, I ask favorite Christmas movie, favorite Christmas song, favorite Christmas cookie, I think, and famous Christmas cocktail.
Okay, and I did Christmas pattern too for lights. I like that one too.
Oh, yeah. So Christmas pattern.
Throw that one in there.
Yeah. Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
So my favorite wall of lights we've ever done was the blue and cool white.
I love that pattern.
And it was on a gray building, a darker gray building. So just the way that it reflected everything was really cool. I'm a huge fan of all the holiday bright lights is the ones that sell them, but they have, you know what champagne is, right? The cool white, cool white, the warm white, and then the pure white strobe. But Holiday Bright Lights has a whole bunch of different versions of it. So they have the Grinch, which is red, green, and then that pure white strobe. They have Ocean, which is blue, teal, and that strobe. So they have a whole bunch of different versions of it. We use a lot of them now just because they just give that pop, and it's better than just seeing.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'll have to check those out because I love the champagne one. It's my favorite.
Yeah, they have some really cool ones. Have you figured out a name for your podcast that's not a podcast?
That's the name right now. Yes, that's what we're sticking with. So until something magical clicks and I get knocked in the head by Santa and the Elves, I don't know. But for now,
I was going to suggest one, but I kind of like podcast without a podcast or podcast that's not a podcast.
What you got?
Just chatting with JC. We're just chilling with JC, something simple.
I'm in denial right now that it's a podcast, and Megan likes to keep telling me that it is a podcast or to go start the podcast. So for now, it's just a podcast that's not a podcast.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Keep it light.
All right, Zach, I appreciate you. Appreciate all you do. If you haven't checked out Tinsel CRM, go ahead. I dropped the link in there below. And look forward to Zach coming back from Mexico with getting his podcast live and then having a very special treat coming in September with his beautiful new baby. So thank you. And we will talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, JC. Take care.